Yo, hello, it is I, your boy Gomi, and we are back with more UFC 287 coverage that I bet you didn't expect. Yes, I normally only do main cards, but I will break that when I feel there's a fight that honestly deserves main card treatment, or if it's a fight that really intrigues me, and we have one in the form of Chris the Action Man Curtis versus Kelvin Gastelum. The dark horse banger fight of the card that people aren't talking about enough. This is the fight that I am very excited to see, especially live, because Kelvin Gastelum gets disrespected. Chris Curtis, he's always a fun fight to watch, unless you're Jack Hermanson. For both of them, they both lost to Jack Hermanson. But regardless, this is going to be a middleweight banger between top 15 middleweights. It's going to be Chris the Action Man Curtis versus Kelvin Gastelum. Chris Curtis is going to be 35 years of age, a record of 30 wins, 9 losses. He has had a lot of fights. This is going to be his 40th pro fight in MMA. 17 knockouts. They call him the Action Man for a reason. 1 submission, 5'10" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 75.5-inch reach advantage. No takedowns whatsoever. This man just wants to stand and bang. He has a 57.29% significant strike accuracy, which is very good for the amount of fights he's had. He's going to be a minus 115 favorite, but as you can see, it's a pick'em. Joaquin Buckley, Brendan Allen, and Phil Hawes are going to be significant wins. Standing across from him, former middleweight title challenger, a part of one of the greatest middleweight fights, one of the greatest fights of all time, Kelvin Gastelum. 31 years of age, 17 wins, 8 losses, 6 knockouts, 5 submissions, 5'9" in terms of height, southpaw stance. He has a 71-inch reach disadvantage, a 1.05 takedown average, a 46.36% significant strike accuracy, a minus 105 underdog with significant wins over Ian Heinisch, Ronaldo Souza, Michael Bisping, and Vitor Belfort. I love this fight. I really do. I really like this fight. Chris Curtis, how can he win? Chris Curtis has power. He has a ton of power out to him. And he's been improving. Now, yes, I say been improving despite him being 35 of 40 pro fights. He only got into UFC relatively recently. He has not had a lot of fights in UFC because he's mainly been fighting at lesser promotions. But that's been a great help in terms of boosting his confidence and getting up his skill level. But we still see he can fall short against top opponents or against a more elusive opponent in the form of Jack Hermanson. Jack Hermanson, someone who actually both of them beat. Chris Curtis had an awful showing against Jack Hermanson. I feel a lot of it was due to it being short notice as well, but the main thing is he just could not handle the elusivity of the Joker. But also, Jack Hermanson he just does not fight, to be perfectly honest with you. But from what we've seen from Chris Curtis, he's got a ton of power. The problem with Curtis is he's a counterpuncher. He really will let other people dictate the pace, tire them out, and then just unload bombs or once they make a mistake. We've seen this in his fight against Joaquin Buckley. Buckley was outpacing him quite a bit. He was throwing heat. He was really attacking him with everything he had. All it took was one well-paced shot from Curtis to just take him out. We saw again against Phil Hawes. Phil Hawes was winning most of that fight. No hype. Phil Hawes was throwing in shots. He was landing teeps to the body. He was piecing up Curtis. But Curtis saw that one shot he needed, that one right, hurt him, hit him with that knee, and that was all she wrote. Took him down, took him out. Curtis, despite being labeled as the action man, he'll only press the action when either you're tired or just there's nothing else to do. Otherwise, a majority of it, he'll be content with sitting there getting beaten up and taking shots. But his counter striking and power is something to be hold of. Now, the problem though against the guy he's fighting, Kelvin Gastelum has that Mexican toughness. He is built like a fridge. He is tough and he does not go down. Kelvin Gastelum has taken a lot of shots, but he endures. I don't see Kelvin Gastelum getting finished. The only time Gastelum's been finished was by submission, I believe. I could look it up, but I'm pretty sure it was only he fought Big Rig. I don't remember that, man. Good old welterweight days, yeah, because Kelvin Gastelum used to be a welterweight, ballooned up to middleweight, and he saw more success there, but that's a lot of criticism too. People think he should move down a weight, but yeah, no, he's never been finished by TKO. He's only been submitted, and that was only twice, I believe. Weidman and Hermanson. But otherwise, like, Gastelum's a tank. He takes on a lot of power. He takes on a lot of shots, and I don't see Curtis being the one to knock him out. Gastelum also has very crisp boxing. I love Gastelum's boxing. He's very good. He has a really good pole counter he's able to use occasionally. He's able to put people in trouble. He put Robert Whittaker and Jared Cannonier, 2 top middleweights. He put them in trouble occasionally. He still soundly lost those fights, but he was in them till the very end. And it's because of that toughness, that Mexican heart he has, allows him to always be in these fights no matter what. He got dropped 4 times against the former champion Israel Adesanya, one of the best fighters all time. He did the best against Izzy compared to everyone else other than Pereira, honestly. A lot of people say, oh, the second Whittaker fight was a robbery or whatever. No, it was not. No, it was not. It was Israel Adesanya won all of his fights definitively except for the Pereira fight and except for the Gastelum fight. Those were the only ones that truly brought a challenge to him. Because Gastelum's boxing was good. I like him despite being the shorter fighter in most cases, but he's actually only barely shorter than Curtis. Despite him being the shorter fighter, he does a really good job of hopping in with his jabs. He does a really good job of hopping in with those, and I love his pull counters. His pull counter used to knock out Michael Bisping was so crisp and so clean, and he's so good at fighting in the pocket and fighting in chaotic exchanges, which Curtis will get into, because Curtis, he's going to be a counter striker. Gastelum is more of an offensive boxer type. But now some problems with Gastelum. Gastelum, despite being the younger guy, he's fought more wars and he's fought harder competition, which could be a double-edged sword. Because again, looking at his resume like that we kind of briefly looked at, let's look at look at Izzy. What the heck? Let's look at everyone that Kelvin Gastelum has fought. Uriah Hall. Is that Rick Story? He fought Rick Story. I didn't even know he fought Rick Story. Ellenberger, Woodley, Nate the Not So Great, Magny, Big Riggs, Tim Kennedy. That's Tim Kennedy. Yeah, Tim Kennedy, Belfort, Weidman, Bisping, Souza, Adesanya, Till, Hermanson. Literally, the only person on his list is like just Heinrich, who's not that good. He's got like a BMF record, honestly, in terms of top names he's fought. But the thing is, he's lost a lot of those fights. He may have gained experience, but also he's lost all his fights. He's gotten beat up a lot by some of the best guys. So I don't know how that's going to help him. And the thing is, ever since the Adesanya fight, I feel like he has not been taking his career seriously. I really don't feel like he has. He may say he has, but that Adesanya fight, man, it might have broke him. He lost to Darren Till. Decision. And that's Darren Till after Darren Till kind of got broken by Woodley. So not that lost aged very poorly. I just don't know. I feel like there's a chance like that Gastelum could really push the pace. We could see old like high level Gastelum like we used to, but I just feel it's going to be the Curtis show. I feel Gastelum's going to have the better volume, be pushing the pace more, but I feel Curtis is going to be countering him and winning on the judges' scorecards with brutal counters that will drop Gastelum but will hop up like a rabbit or something like that. I like Kelvin Gastelum, I really do. I just feel like this is going to be Curtis's moment. I just feel like he's going to have that it. I feel like he has more of a drive to win than Gastelum honestly does. But I absolutely could see that it goes to decision and that Curtis might not get the nod due to the large amount of pressure that Gastelum puts. Who knows? Who knows? I feel it'll be a great fight. I feel like it'll be a sleeper fight in the card. I'm going to lean towards Chris Curtis by decision being my pick of the night, who I feel is going to win. But either way, potential fight of the night. Well, once again, this has been your boy Gomi. Be sure to like and subscribe for more UFC 287 coverage. And bye-bye.